Right, mate. Start again. Gaz Rush. Introduce yourself, mate.
Gaz Rush, 41, off Flint.
Off Flint.
Off Flint. When I was a young lad, I was a paper boy from the age of 9 up until the age of 16. When my hobbies were football. Started off at Oakland Gunners, under 12s, and then went on to play for Baggles under Wonders, under 14s, and then Point of Air under 15s, and then joined up with Caris at the age of 16.
Played at Hulking with me for quite a few years, and you're right back.
Yeah, well, played anywhere, in goal, right back, left back, sometimes on the wings, whatever filled in, really.
Yeah. So, obviously, you've come here because you want to talk about mental health and the stuff that you've been through. Been through some difficult periods in your life. From what you've said to me, mate, we'll start off with your military background and when you joined the army and you medically discharged, weren't you? And
yes.
Obviously, from what you've said to me so far, that sounds like it had a big part playing on your mind and a big part of why you started struggling, I guess.
Yes.
So take it from there, mate.
Well, I joined up twice, to be honest. I joined up in 2009, 2010. Done a year and a half there. Obviously, going on further into this.
Just put the mic a bit closer. Yeah.
That's
better.
Lost my daughter in 2009, 2010, but we'll come back onto that.
Yeah.
I re-signed back up when I was ready to go again. Rejoined back up 2015, and then obviously I got medically discharged 2018. Felt like because I was injured, I was just pushed to the side in a scrap heap, even though I was just doing my physio. After that, nobody really bothered coming to check in on us, apart from the physios going, hi, bye, and going straight away. There's nothing out there for us, for the help and all that, properly when you've really first been medically discharged. But then, obviously, in the end, they give you a list with phone numbers on. So you have to contact them. And
so you say you joined up the first time in what,
2009, 2010.
And obviously you left because of what happened, is that, would you say that right? Okay.
Yeah. And
the second time you joined, 2015, and left 2018. 18, okay. How'd that make you feel when you'd left? Was it something that you'd always wanted to do, join the army, being in the army?
Well, if I never got injured now, I'd still be in.
Okay. What regiment were you in?
I was in the Queen's Dragoon Guards.
Right, okay. A lot of Merseyside lads in them.
Mainly Wrexham lads.
Oh, is it?
It's the Welsh Cavalry, it is.
Ah, right, okay.
So, yeah, when you're injured, I say you're just pushed to the side and forgotten about. So there should be more inside help than... Obviously, it wasn't just me. There was other lads in there struggling as well. And
when you came out, what did you... Obviously, you didn't want to come out of there. And when you came out, how did you feel? What did you do? Did you, resort to... what mental health issues did you have when you came out of the military?
At first, I was like, wow, the job I loved, because of my fitness and all that, the job I loved was just like gone.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I was just like, with my injury and all that, just didn't know where to turn to and that. So then, obviously,
What was your injury? What did you do?
I broke my shoulder doing close quarter combat, and it wasn't supposed to be on. I'd done it 2 weeks before we were to deploy to Sierra Leone for training exercise. I ended up missing out on Sierra Leone, California, Poland, and the likes of that. Gutted, because I wanted to experience it. But at the end of the day, as I say, you were just shoved to the side, forgotten about.
Yeah. What was your role? What was your role in the military?
My role in the military was driving and maintenance of the vehicles. So we were the jackal, and obviously we had to maintain the vehicles of i.e. the Jackal, the weapons and all that. So yeah, that was my trade. Obviously still got it now. Obviously I just got to try and do what I can do with that.
Yeah. Moving on from the military, you don't know if you want to mention about, if you want to start talking about, you know, your daughter and what happened, and obviously it's a parent's worst nightmare, really, isn't it? Probably a difficult thing for any parent to talk about, but I guess that's why you wanted to come on here and speak about it, really.
Yeah, speaking about it, obviously don't hide anything. Always speak up. Always speak up.
Yeah.
Even if it's the hard times. So yeah, from the age of 3 months old, my daughter had epilepsy. So every month, on the same day and time, she would have a fit. And
really? Every day at the same time?
Every month.
Right.
Same time, same day.
Bloody hell.
She got to see her first birthday. The month later, she passed away, obviously. But because I was still in the military at the time, I was in military mode where I had no grief. I haven't grieved.
You never grieved for it?
I've still not grieved now. I don't know how to, because on special occasions I go to the grave. I'll have a tear in my eye, but I won't cry. And I don't know how, don't know why. I haven't got the answers for that. But the best thing to do is just enjoy the moments you had with her. Obviously, I never had much time with her, but at least she got to see her first birthday. And obviously, the month later, she's gone.
What's her name?
Summer.
Something that I've never experienced, mate, and there's a lot of people that do. You know, I couldn't think of nothing worse to really come to mind than that happening. When you say you sort of locked it all away, I guess.
Yeah. I had to, because I didn't want my family to see me broken.
Yeah.
So I ended up just hiding it all inside. I say, didn't want to speak to anyone. And then obviously I had to go back to camp all the time, come back home to try and sort all out. But as I say, at the time, I was in training. I was taught to be a soldier first, do the grieving after. But as I say, to this day, still haven't grieved and don't know how.
Do you feel like you used the military aspect of it to block out all the shit that was going on at home?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the best thing to do, because I was travelling back in 2. I was keeping myself busy, PT and all that, and then obviously trying to get my head round things as well while being away. And obviously I couldn't do it back up here because I didn't want anyone, and I didn't want to be a burden on anyone. I just wanted to do it my way, my time. So yeah.
When you say that it was the best thing to do, do you feel like it was the best thing to do now? Obviously, we all know that, well, some people know that locking stuff away and letting it fucking burn inside you for years and years is probably the worst thing to do now. Do you feel as though maybe, I'm going to say even the military, do you feel as though they should have helped you more at the time?
Yes, there should have been a lot more help from the military. Now, looking back on it, it's good to talk.
Yeah.
Don't leave it all in, because it gets too much and then you just like don't know which direction to go in. You just like left, right.
Does it still play on your mind now?
Yes, because sometimes I look back and say I could have done more.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for her as I should have, because I'm in military training, and I feel like I let my daughter down in a way as well. But I know at the end of the day, she's not suffering no more. So that's the only thing I can say. She's not suffering no more.
Why do you feel like you let her down? Because you weren't there?
Because I wasn't here. I was away at the time.
Do you feel like you sort of used the army as almost like an excuse as well to get away? I've got to go, rather than I want to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I suppose it's a difficult thing to watch, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and like seeing her body laying in a morgue, not nice for anyone. And she was only a baby as well, so not very nice.
Did that have a big effect on? I'm not sure whether I'm right in saying, but were you in a relationship with the mum at the time?
On and off, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, as I say, because I was away, I think that had more of an impact, as I say, being away.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough, man. It's a difficult thing for, I know people who've lost children and stuff like that, and I don't really know what I'd do if that happened to me. I think I'd go fucking berserk. I think I'd just go completely off the rails, or would have at the time. Nowadays, I think I've learned a lot more on how to cope with issues a lot more, and traumatic experiences a lot more. The other thing that you wanted to speak about really was, you touched on like relationships and stuff that you've struggled with relationships almost. Do you feel as though the trauma of losing a daughter maybe has had like a subconscious effect on you, where you don't put up, like you said, you used to use the army as your crutch to get away from sort of the reality of home life? Do you feel as though maybe that's sort of ingrained in you a little bit, and that's sort of how you've lived your life a little bit maybe?
Yeah, hiding. Obviously, especially when my daughter's anniversaries come round, I like shut myself away and all that. Obviously, in time, obviously speaking about it, as I say, is better than keeping it inside.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what problems you've got, whether it's my problems, their problems, people's problems. Just talk about it. Don't keep it in.
So how do you deal with your trauma and your issues now? Or sorry, let's start with, how did you deal with them then? How did you deal with your issues?
Dealing with my issues was just keeping fit, going to the gym.
Has that always been the way? Have you ever had like any self-destruct mode and things like that? Because I know a lot of the time when I've struggled with my issues, it's been a case of just get bombed for 3 or 4 days and cut reality out completely and just not fucking speak to anybody and just drink yourself, drinking drugs until, reality becomes, something completely different, I guess.
Yes, I did turn to drink, and it wasn't very nice seeing me the way I was. Drink, devil in anyone, whether it's good, bad, you name it. But yeah, turn to drink. I even gave up football for 1 year. That's how bad it was, because I turned to drink first before anything else.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I wish I could go back in time and not even touch the drink.
Yeah. When was that? When were you drinking?
20. When I was 20, started there.
So when was that? Like 1973 or?
1999 was the first pint I had. Didn't like it. And then obviously ended up 2001 when I started drinking.
So this was before your daughter was born then?
Yes, yeah.
So would you say you had a drinking problem before that?
Not really.
Before your daughter was born?
Because I knew when to stop and that.
Yeah.
But know when you just got that edge to go and have a pint and then have a pint and then stay out. It's hard to go home when you got so much alcohol in you, and you're like, I can stay out. But no, I say, and going back to my daughter when obviously she passed, when I was back on camp, nobody seen what I had in my bag, apart from the guards who checked it. I had loads of alcohol in there because it was phase 2. You could have alcohol in phase 2. You can go out for a pint and that. But yeah, turned to drink then mainly, and ever since, up until last month, drink.
Up until last month,
Last month, yeah, drink. Just turned to drink.
And how long you've been drinking for this time round?
Since 2002 onwards.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Any ever any really dark moments that you want to speak about? Any times where, we know that suicide's the biggest killer of men under 50 at the moment. Has there ever been any times like that?
Yeah, I've tried killing myself 3 times. Oh, yeah. Overdoses. As I say, last month, just before I started my training, I was on the bridge, on Deeside Bridge, ready to go. I let everything get up onto my head, chest, relationships, bills, everything just got to me. And I was on the bridge just looking down.
What stopped you?
The thing what stopped me was, obviously, someone come onto the bridge. But the main one was thinking, don't be selfish, because you have got kids. No matter how many bills you got, no matter how many kids you've got, all them kids need you, as well as family.
So, in reality, mate, I guess it was the pressures of life that had just sort of got on top of you a little bit too much. And
yeah, obviously, yeah, it did. Break up of a relationship as well, as I say, finding out things. But at the end of the day, that's part and parcel in any relationship, no matter what. But as I say, with all my bills coming through, like trying to sort out my mortgage, trying to sort out other things, other bills and all that, I say, I just lost my head. And then, I say, over a month ago, just before my training, I was on the bridge, ready to end it all there and then.
When you talk about relationships, what sort of partner do you think you are?
I'm a good partner. I fall in love too easy. That's what it is. Being in a relationship, you put all cards on the table and say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I plan on doing. But when you lose contact with each other, because social media is more important than a relationship and all that, and it's not just one way, both ways, or anyone's relationship. Social media is bad for relationships, etc.
I can agree with that.
So, because looking at it from a relationship point of view, say if it's a man thing, they'll have women looking at your profiles, and vice versa. Relationship problems start with social media. I wish I never joined social media. I wish it never really happened, because the kids these day and age is going to be growing up social media mad.
When you say that you fall in love too easy, do you think that it's actually falling in love, or do you think you're searching for something a bit, searching for something a bit more? Falling in love is a difficult thing to do. I think actually falling in love, we can think it could be more of a lust. Like you say, you do it quickly. I think falling in love with somebody, it takes quite a long time to do. Do you think it was more, you sort of reaching out, looking for more of a comfort blanket more than anything else?
Yes and no, because obviously, yes, I do fall in love too easy. But I say when
you say you fall in love too easy, what do you mean?
I just put all my love there on the table from day one till the last day. Yeah. And looking at it, I also believe that in relationships, it should be 50-50 no matter what what's going on. Packages, obviously, people have got kids in a relationship, both sides and everything. But, okay, sometimes it does take ages to fall in love. But sometimes if you think you're with the right person, it's...
How can you know somebody's the right person before you even know who they are, though? You know, actually know them as a person, which, you know, I've been with my missus now 2 years. It took us a long fucking time to really understand who each other are.
Well, my last relationship, I knew her from past.
Right.
I've known her for years and years.
But generally there, you said that you fall in love too easy, which means that you do it, you know, whoever the woman could be, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I say I'm one of them. I just put my heart on the line and that's it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think, I don't know, myself, it's more, I'm a lot more, or was, a bit wary. I'd probably block the best parts of myself off, or I did with my missus. I blocked a lot of it off, so it was like a defense mechanism, so I didn't get hurt, you know, or, yeah, because I didn't want to get hurt myself, so I'd probably act up a little bit. It's interesting you say that you fall in love easy, though. So what else do you want to speak about when it comes to relationships?
Well, all I've got to say is if you love someone 100%, make it work, whether you have arguments, don't have arguments, you know, if you don't talk and all that. If you love each other, as you both say you do, make it work. No matter whether you're in 300 miles away from you, whether it's 2 miles away from you, make it work. If you love each other, just make it work.
Yeah, don't really know what to say to that now. So how come yours failed then? Because I know that's sort of a big reason as to why you wanted to come on here. Obviously, you don't have to name names, you don't have to go into details, but you know, you ended up going to jail. Was that this relationship?
No, that was the one before
right.
that.
We're gonna speak on that later, but I was just wondering if that was the reason as to why. So what would you say that you could have done better as a man?
Well, mine failed because obviously it was anniversaries of my daughters.
Right.
June and July, her birthday, you know. I had that going on, trying to block out that to help my last relationship. Then, obviously, she was struggling, and I could have been better partner, sort of thing, but I was fading with my problems.
Yeah.
Obviously, she was fading with her problems, and then obviously we just on and off, and we just. You
feel like communication could have been a better part of the relationship? Because like when you say that you were fading with your problems and she's fading with, I take it you mean going further and further away from each other. Is that what you mean?
No, with my problems and her problems, she was drowning. I was drowning with my problems. There should have been better communication, but when you're trying to work and then be other places, and
I get
that's
Yeah.
The pressure itself as well. And then trying to get pressure to get back to her and help and that. But yeah, pressure's a big thing. Trying to fit as much as you can in a day when there's not enough hours in a day to help people. There's not enough hours to do what you need to do.
I take it you're trying to say there that like life sort of took over and we all do it. We all sort of go into like autopilot mode, or you're working, you come home, you sleep, feed the kids, go back to work, and don't really make time for each other. And That's just sort of reality gets in the way of, you know, your relationship with your missus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does for a lot of people, mate. Does for a lot. I totally understand that. We'll have 2 minutes now, mate, and then we'll come back and then we'll talk about what we mentioned before and how, you know, the jail, going to jail and stuff like that. Obviously, you said you want to talk about that piece.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll have 2 minutes now, mate, and then we'll come back and talk about that.
That's fine, yeah.
So. Right, mate. How do you feel that went?
Yeah.
Do you feel as though it's difficult to try and get your words out sometimes?
Yes, sometimes it's difficult, but obviously sometimes it's there and you can just lay it off your tongue there. But sometimes it is difficult.
Yeah. So I feel like I've known you for a long time through football and things like that, and you get the impression that the camera's on you a little bit. You know, the way that obviously I'm more used to sitting there and talking, but I get the impression a little bit that you know that the camera's on you. So I don't know whether you are nervous or not. It might just be because there's a fucking camera there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like you've done well there, mate, considering it's not something that you've really done before. So the next bit, mate, we'll talk about, well, I'll let you talk about it, is when you went to jail.
Yeah. Well, obviously, hold my hands up. Done wrong, done the time for the crime I did. Obviously, I just wanted to say, like, obviously, people say things in the wrong time and in the wrong place. And someone said to me about, I'm glad your daughter's dead and all that, which emotionally, that hurt me.
Yeah.
Week later, drink again, jumps in my car, tries to scare in her. And then, obviously, alcohol. I didn't even realise it's me. It wasn't even me.
Yeah.
My demons took on from there. And then, obviously, as I say, hold my hands up, doing wrong. But when someone says nasty stuff about your dead daughter, then you're not just going to sit there. Took over a week or two, maybe more, to think about things. Obviously, the time I did when I was in prison, no alcohol, training every day, best thing ever. Because you just had things to think about for when you come out. I'm going to do this, put in perspective, plans and all that. But yeah, I say, hold my hands up. Nobody's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, no matter where it is, what it is. I say, my first time in trouble as well. So,
You've never been arrested before that?
No, never been arrested before that. First time in trouble and only time, because I've got plans for the future, and whether it's here, away, my plans will be my plans. No one else's. But yeah, going to prison was a bad place. I had, as I say, talking about my demons, I had plenty of them when I turned to drink, you know. But as I say, nobody's perfect. I hold my hands up. My mistakes. No one else's.
What were your demons? The fact that somebody had spoke about your daughter?
My demons was like, it was just like an angel and devil on one side. Just leave it, let it go. And then the devil was like, you can't let it go. You know what I mean? And then next thing, as soon as I was on the beer, mate, that was like my head would be, the angel would disappear. And then I say, mainly alcohol related. Head blows. And I'm not one for losing my head, but I lost it.
Have you ever got a chance to speak to her again since?
No.
No.
And to be honest, I don't want to. It's in the past now, and that's where it's staying, and that's it.
Would you apologise for doing it, or would you not?
I apologised in the courtroom.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
And how? What was it like to go to jail?
What it was like to go to jail, I felt like horrible, yeah, because that wasn't the person I was. But this is when my military comes into it, because you're setting yourself goals to, as I say, get out. You're setting yourself goals to work out in the day, obviously keep your body and mind busy. Mm-hmm. But as I say, luckily enough, I had a military background to help me get through them dark days until I seen the light at the end of the tunnel, which is when I was released.
So, who's Gaz Rush now?
Gaz Rush now.
Because, and the reason that I say this, and I mentioned this to you before we started, is because you look on social media, you always get one side of a story. You always sort of, you know, people can write anything they want on there and people fucking believe it. And, you know, you've had bad press over the last couple of years on social media, which you said that yourself to me. So who is Gaz Rush?
I say it how it is, and if people want to know who I am, they can ask me. But I'm a kind-hearted fella, and I'll do anything for anyone. And the best way to get away from that and help people is getting your mindset right first. Yeah. And Gaz Rush is there to help anyone out. I give them my last money, me clothes off me back. I'm a very changed man since.
What's made you change? What have you done to change from who you were to who you are?
The last month, I've not touched any alcohol. Mm-hmm. I've just trained in the gym, music, gym, and that's it. Mm. Keep away from the fat foods and alcohol.
Yeah. So what have you got planned for the future then, mate? What you were saying before?
Well, I've got my driver's licence back. My plans are to build a better future for myself, build a better future for my kids.
How many kids have you got?
I got 5.
Have you?
4 alive, yeah.
Have you?
And
see them?
No.
No.
So I think that's another part as well, because I don't see them. Because
any of them local?
Yes, we got a couple of local ones, yeah, and then the other 2 aren't local. But as I say, I don't pressure the woman to let me see them. It's up to them, and at the end of the day, if they want to see me, my kids, if they want to see me, then they can see me. I say.
So I guess it's not about building a bigger future for your kids. I suppose it's more of building a relationship to start building that future. That's sort of the next steps, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're saying there, like, if you're not going to pressure them to see it, if they want to see you, they can.
Yeah.
What about are you trying to see them?
I haven't really. Obviously, I text them saying, how are you and all that. Love you and all that. But sometimes it's like, do they really want to see someone who's...
Yeah, they do.
Who's hurt and all that,
100% they do. And the only reason that I say that is because me and my dad didn't see each other for a long, long time when I was a kid. And even though at one point I resented the fact that he wasn't around, I guarantee if he'd have phoned me one day, well, there was many a times, mate, where, he'd say, "Oh, I'll come and meet you come down next Saturday and see you." When I was a kid, I'd wait in the house all day for him to come down. Every single time that he said that he'd come down, I'd make sure I was there waiting for him. So my answer to that is, yeah, they do want to see you. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what's gone on in life. If you make the effort, mate, they will see you. I guarantee you. I'll guarantee you that for a fact.
I think I'm just waiting now to when they're old enough to come and see me. The age of 16 and all that. I think that's what I'm waiting out for. Personally,
mate, I think if you do that, I think they're not gonna.
Yeah.
And the way I'd see it, we're the parents at the moment. They're the kids. They're the vulnerable ones.
Yeah.
They're the ones that sit waiting for you to turn up. And like I say, and that's only my opinion, mate. But I think if you want to build that relationship with your kids, then I think, there's probably a little bit more effort, maybe. I know you're probably just as scared to do it as they are. I probably would be. I'd feel nervous not speaking to me kids if I hadn't spoken to them for a while, for the simple fact that they could say something that would hurt me, like, don't want to speak to you, don't want to see you. So sometimes it's probably easy to go, do you know what, I'll just not say anything. But until you do that, I think you're going to be waiting for something that you're not going to enjoy, even though that might be when they're, I don't know, how old are they now?
13, 12, 9 and 5.
Is there would you say there's any harm in asking them?
No.
No. So why, do you think, are you nervous? Are you scared in case you get an answer that you
I think I'm nervous, scared, just in case they say, no, I don't want to see you, or, when we were kids, 13, 12, we were out all the time playing in the mud, rain, where now...
No, they don't do that now. They're stuck in the house all day, aren't they?
Yeah, so that's why I think I'm a bit more scared and nervous to say, well, but... As I say, I'll carry on texting the 2 eldest ones, obviously, because of one's far away and another one's in Wrexham. I think it's like, if I make a move, do I message them? Do I thingy and get rejected by the mothers as well with a message saying no? I know I've got bridges to build with my kids,
Being rejected by the mother, for me personally, that wouldn't even bother me.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's a lot of the relationship between you and the mother isn't the relationship between you and the kids. The mother might hold resentment towards you for whatever reason. That's none of my business. Coming from a lad who longed for his dad to be there when he was a kid. And again, there's now that I've grown up, I understand there was a lot of other reasons as to why I didn't see him sometimes. I understand that life's not perfect. There's no guidebook to life. Do you know what I mean? There's no step 1, step 2, step 3. Life's hard. I get that. Life's fucking really hard. But yeah, if I was to give you any advice, mate, I'd just drop a message and maybe say, especially to the eldest, do you fancy meeting up? Even if it's for a coffee, if that's something that is a possibility. I don't know, that's your life, but...
That's the thing. I think I don't want to break the bond what the kids have got with their mother as well,
Why would that break the bond?
Because obviously she's got a stronger because they live with them and
that,
but I don't want to step on any toes.
You're the dad, though.
I know I'm the dad, but as I say, sometimes, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, what's said to the kids. Especially me, I've never been in a predicament like it, So at the end of the day, I know it sounds selfish, but I've had to put myself first the last couple of years to get my mental health.
And there's no problem with that, mate. There's no problem with putting yourself first at times, I guess, to work on yourself and do a lot. I've gone from seeing my kids every day over the last couple of years, I see them, once or twice a week. My son's left school, so he's doing his own thing now. I ask him all the time to come and see me, but he's like, no, I'm going out with my mates. But I still speak to him every day almost. Take my daughter to jiu-jitsu a couple of times a week. She sleeps there whenever she wants. I've told them whenever they want to sleep, they can. And I get that it's difficult not living with your kids. I guess all I'm saying is the longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah.
Sometimes putting a plaster over something's no good. Sometimes you've got to rip it off and just, have a go. Because if you don't, I think when you're an old man, you'll probably kick yourself and say, fucking hell, I wish I'd have tried a little bit harder maybe with the kids. And that's me not knocking you for whatever you're doing, mate. Like, say, I've known you for years and I know you're not a bad person. But yeah, man, give it a try, see what happens.
I will do.
There's no harm in trying, mate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See what happens. Anything else you want to say, mate?
No,
No?
just live life day by day because you never know what's around the corner. That's all.
And I suppose, well, end it then. I've got a question that I ask everybody. If you could have 4 people in these chairs sat around the table with you now, who would it be? Could be anybody from history.
I'd have my best mate from when I was in the army, Terry Keenan. I'd have him there. And then I'd have me nanas and granddad.
Yeah. Both?
Both.
Yeah. What about one person from history who's not here? Someone famous?
Someone famous?
Could be anybody from history.
Winston Churchill.
Nice.
Because he said how it was, when it was, you're doing it this way, where this day and age, you've just been walked over by the government.
Yeah. I mean, we could speak for another 2 hours on the shit show that we call the British government now. Especially the way they treat army, military veterans. A couple of years ago, mate, when I went out to Chester, I had a conversation with a lad. I think he was ex-Irish Guards, is it? Is it Irish Guards?
Yeah, Irish Guards.
He was living on the streets in Chester, didn't have a pot to piss in. I'm thinking, how the fuck can this happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was asking for money, so I made him prove that he was an Irish Guard. So we got his gear out before I give him the money. Didn't want to just give him the money and then he goes and blows it on whatever.
Yeah.
But it's sad, man. It's sad to see. There's a lot of shit going on in this country at the moment that's fucked up. There's a lot of things that need fixing. I think there's a mental health crisis in this country, all over the world at the moment. And not just men, women as well. We're not being given the help that we deserve. And hopefully with people, like you've come on here today, I'd imagine it was difficult for you to sit there and speak about what you're speaking about. But I appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, I was like a bit nervous at first, but once you sat in the seat, no going back. See it how it is, be honest, and that's it.
That's it, mate. Nice one, brother. Sound?
Cheers.